Welcome back, gallant gurus and gamers of all variety, to some more Robocraft here with me, Wraulin. And today we're going to be looking at the new Cache of Clans update coming out the 20th, which is probably going to be by the time you see this video. And also going over some drones I've been working on in the background, and hopefully you guys will enjoy these. A couple of them I'll put up on the shop. This one here is actually my very first attempt at a drone in the recent months, I'd say. I tried it with the copter blade, tried it with a little fin. Ultimately, I found it a little bit lacking. Not everything that I make turns out to be a shot bot, after all. It wasn't horrible, it's just that I wanted a little bit more performance, and I felt like it relied a little bit too heavily on the propeller blade to really keep afloat well. So in this episode, I'm going to be showing you a couple different conceptual designs to put together, some that performed really well, and also showing off someone else's drone. This right here is a player in the game called Ketmal, and a very skilled builder. This is a really popular drone you can pick up on the shop called the Stressball he put together, and I really enjoyed it. I've bought it for myself and modified it a little bit to kind of get a feel for what other people are doing with drones and see where I could learn a little bit of stuff from. So on his drone, I liked his ability to use a compact, tight space and use a lower ranking thruster and still get top performance out of it. One thing I didn't like though is his gun placement, so I went in, I changed it up from his original design. I also changed up a couple blocks here and there just to make it a little tougher. So this is kind of a modified version of Ketmal's Stress Ball. So all I gotta say is, wow, it performs really nicely, and this is kind of what I was looking for in the drone I built earlier. And the ability to nose down like this and fire with SMGs and stuff to grab seams was really impressive to me. That's one of the features they put into the game recently, which is the camera relative tilt. But when you're playing a drone, it's almost like having a computer on board to help each of your thrusters fire at the right time to keep your drone aloft. So you can make some really crazy flying vehicles now, and I think that's some of the stuff that really makes a lot of the shurikens and drones like this function so well when it's flying. So I'm really impressed by that. By the way, the bug that had camera relative tilt automatically turn off when you edit your robot, that is getting fixed. So come on the 20th of October, there will be no more having to go back in every match and clicking the box again if you made a small change to your robot, which I like a lot. So anyway, the Stress Ball slash the Astral Assassin, as I called it, performs really well. I liked it a lot, and it's kind of something that I'm going to try to emulate in some of my future builds with the thruster placement and compactness. One thing I noticed when I looked at this, though, was it has so many little T4 thrusters. I wondered if I could save some CPU and maybe include some different features. I really like having the power booster, which is on this guy, and I think that's really important for top-level gameplay. This is a 1750 build, if you didn't notice it. So I definitely wanted to do something similar and see maybe what else I could get into it. But overall, even if you get smacked down, you can still fly around pretty well with that camera relative tilt and camera control still steering on, as your thrusters that are positioned in the direction that you're trying to go will fire as you rotate. So it makes it pretty easy just to make a ball of thrusters and have it function somewhat. Almost a little too easy, I would say, especially compared to how the drones used to be. But anyway, I wanted to give a big props to Ketmal for the good job on his Stress Ball, and it definitely helped open my eyes and give me some more ideas when I'm building my drone. So I like that a lot. Did get a victory here. We got that 6 kills, 1 death, and a lot of assists. I've been getting lots of assists with drones, it seems like. And it is something kind of fun and different from the mechs that I normally am creating. So I went back to the drawing board after seeing Ketmal's design and talking to some other people too in the Atlas Core clan, and decided to start from the ground up building this, which is called the Cage Fighter. I used some larger arrow rods in it, and I used a little larger thrusters in hope that I could conserve some CPU rather, to maybe add in another feature. And I was able to do that. I was able to get on a radar jammer, which I think is important if you're trying to play stealthy. So this is kind of more a sneak up on you sort of drone. I would say it's a little bit more stable, but not as fast in its strafe ability. So there's some good and bad things, and it's also a little bit bigger target. But this was kind of a total different way of going about to build it drone, as in the past I've been good at building like electroplated drones or building hybrid drones, but this is kind of, I think, one of my first true strafe drones with relative tilt in there as well. And to me, Robocraft is kind of like life. You know, you don't always start out an expert in everything you do. It takes practice and hard work, and if you put in the effort over time, you'll get better at it. And so just keep that in mind if you're one of the people who says, you know, I can't build anything cool in Robocraft. I definitely couldn't build a drone. First of all, you got to believe in yourself. Second of all, take some advice, look around, learn from others. And then third, you got to practice and put in the hard work. And eventually you can build pretty much anything that's possible in the game. So hopefully that is encouraging. So anyway, I lucked into the opportunity there to play with the Awesome Soul and the Soul Squad. It was a lot of fun running into those guys. Good group of people, and definitely somebody you should check out on YouTube. And while I'm talking about cool people to check out on YouTube, I told Vespertine TV that I would promote him in my description down below. If you don't know who Vespertine TV is, he does a lot of real funny videos, similar to Gromec and Jack 733. So if you like those two guys, definitely check out his channel, as he's doing good stuff. Also, someone from my clan is just starting their Robocraft career. His name is Craftmaster, and I'll also put a link down below to his channel. So now on to the drone that I've been working hard on for you guys. This here is the Poltergeist. It's named appropriately for our October season, as Halloween is almost upon us, and I wanted something ghostly for my newest strafe drone. Of course, it also uses relative tilt, just like all the other ones, so make sure you turn on that little checkbox in the little options for your robot if you decide to get this. This will be on the shop on the CRF, if you're wondering. So sort of like the Cage Fighter, I was trying to do a little bit more, so I ended up using similar size thrusters except for the exterior thrusters, and then putting in a power module, which you'll see here, but using more compact design than the Cage Fighter, as I felt like being a little quicker might be the way to go. So the big thrusters on the outside kind of protect the sides, and this is only 1600 CPU. So that is level 120, so you could possibly get this to help you level up. But I was still able to get on the Plasma Devastators, Laser Disintegrators, and 2 of the Nano Constructors. So you got a little bit of extra CPU to do kind of whatever you want with this thing. Or just conserve it and play in a lower bracket, hopefully, for competition. But it flies pretty steadily, it's pretty quick, and I was happy to be able to kind of get the same performance with a little less CPU. Now, personally, I kind of like the more solid look, so a lot of the blocks I'm using are the edge slope instead of the corner slope blocks, as it makes it look a little bit more solid. But there is still some corner slope in there. This is kind of mixed in or on the inside. Still using arrow rods, but of course one way to save a lot of weight is just to use less blocks, so that's kind of my strategy here. And as you can see, I mean, it does a good job. It is a little more, I would say, fragile than the other 2 drones, but a lot of fun to play, and definitely one of the quickest ones I've played too. So I was able to get a nice 9.0 test run here with this, and it will be up on the shop too under Wraulin. In fact, the Cage Fighter will also be up under Wraulin. However, this upcoming robot I'll be showing you next is going to be under GamerGuide, and this is for all the people who have been facepalming, saying, oh no, not another drone. How about some more anti-air builds? And so I kind of figured that's what some of you might be saying, so I went ahead and I built a new anti-air mech. So here it is. This is the Skyscraper, sort of a play on words, of course, and it uses dual anti-air cannons to max out the shots per second to give you more DPS. Of course, on the bottom, we still got our power module, too, so you can definitely keep up the shots per second. And then I have a radar, and on the back, a radar jammer to keep you kind of hidden. So I also threw on some laser blasters and 3 of the plasma disintegrators to make you a viable fighting machine on the ground too. And it's a good way to take out drones, helicopters, anything that flies, as we definitely need some more balance on the ground, so I figured let's give this one a go. So let's switch gears now and talk a little bit more about the new Clash of Clans patch that will be coming out here tomorrow, the 20th. Or for you today, probably. Clash of Clans is going to be a way to earn extra money when you're playing with your clan. This first season is going to be from October 20th through the 31st of this month. And during this very first season, the robots' earnings will be 3 times what they're normally going to be. as I guess it's a third of the size of the season, so they want to kind of get people rolling on playing with clans. And if you're a premium user, it will be doubled, so you'll be getting 6 times the normal amount of robits. So definitely worth checking out for sure. But that is not the only new thing in the patch. They're also rolling out clan and personal experience that you've earned towards your clan. My understanding is there's not going to be leaderboards right yet, but this will directly contribute to how much you earn in robits. You have to actually play with your clan to be able to earn those robits, so it is kind of a reap what you sow situation. So to track what you have actually earned, there's a new battle summary screen at the end of every battle showing you what you've earned and what your clan has in total for experience, along with what level you currently are and how much more experience you need to get till you get to your next level. But wait, there's even more! There's also now some new balance changes and bug fixes they put into this particular patch. In the balance department, lasers, plasma, rails, and nanos rate of fire is being reduced at lower gun counts. Basically, this is to combat people with this from sticking one of a type of weapon on and being pretty much viable. They want to make it where you have to make a bigger decision against putting more guns on your vehicle or using less, maybe risking having a lower DPS. But that is not going to affect some of the other kinds of weapons, so if you're playing with flak or Lommels or Protoseekers, stuff like that, Teslas, you're not going to be affected. It's only on the old standby guns. In changes, they now have it where you can get up to 32 characters in a name or a clan name. And finally, in bug fixes, they fixed the invisible crystal bug, and also the chat box for relative tilt will now stay on. That's going to do it for this episode, though. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you guys in my very next one. Later!